as in I remember in 2012, 13, 14, those days the distance gap between prelims and mains used to be almost 4 and 4.5 months. But due to pandemic COVID pandemic situation in the country, last year that gap was reduced to 2.5 months. I expect this year the gap between prelims and mains to be reduced further. So we may not get more than 2 hours and 2 months for the preparation. So let us not get so much excited about you have got some extra time. It is nothing like that. So start preparing with the full focus and never let UPSC mains examination from out of your sight. So let us discuss what you should do in this 135 days. I believe there must be different categories of candidates in this session. Some must be attempting exam for the first time. Some must have attempted exam twice or thrice, uh, may written have mains or attempted interview, or there could be some just out of college students, or some experienced person who have attempted at least 2 3 mains or 4 mains and pondering over, okay मेरा तो सब prepare हो गया है, what should I do now? But don't dwell on that comfort of we have some extra time. Mind you, that will be illusory and you will wasting your precious time. So in that situation, I would expect all of you to prepare and strategize first what you need to prepare in next 130 days. So and for that purpose, I would love that all of you take a blank paper and write out what are your weak areas in the preparation, what you have covered up till today, and what needs to be done. So since the gap between your today and the upcoming prelims is increased by further say 4 months, let us divide this period into say into two parts, where we can give prioritize our studies uh, in the mains part and the prelims part. The majority of your time in next 2 months, say 60 65 days, should be devoted solely for the mains. And in that portion, I would expect you to finish one of your optional subject. You part 1 paper 1 or paper 2, whichever it is for you. But I would generally prefer doing paper second in this period, for simply two reasons. Uh, Generally, paper 1, except medical science, it's a theory part. So you have study materials readily available for it. Plus, you have theories, thinkers in this first paper. So generally, paper 2 is an application of these theories and thinkers to the Indian society in a broad spectrum. So there is not much authentic material available for paper 2, and we consider it okay, मैं तो paper 2 तो general studies जैसा ही है, I will prepare it and we'll lose on our preparation. So being a neglected, paper 2 is generally neglected. So I would like you to, all of you, to focus on paper 2. Along with paper 2 of your optional, you should focus on either one. I can divide your GS 1 2 3 4 into two segments. The static portion, which comes for your prelims, and the main specific topics, like you have sociology, then you have international relations, governance, then internal security, ethics. So all these topics may be covered in this period. Along with that, on make it a habit that on every Sunday or Saturday you choose a, excuse me, 1 minute. Am I audible? Hello? 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 Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. So, on your Saturdays and Sundays, you can attempt one essay. Preferably, what you should do, you should go browse the essay papers for last 10 years. And from those 10 years essay papers, you should identify which are the most commonly asked essay topics. Say they generally ask one question on women empowerment, poverty inequality, then on the good governance, then there is one topic philosophical generally, one science based, religion based. So what you do, you can choose a topic every week and write an essay, say about 900 1000 words on that topic. And essay practice is a continuous process, so you won't be having the study material for the one particular topic at immediately ready for that. So so every time you read something related to that topic, you just compile. So by that time you write your base, you will have substantial study material collected for the essay and essay. One more thing you should do is analyzing the past five, rather than 5 years. I'll say the new syllabus came, new pattern came for GS in 2013. So from that time, you can analyze the past question papers, and uh, you should identify the areas from where generally these questions are coming. Further, you if there are some current based questions in the papers, try to relate whether that particular topic was under discussion in current affairs uh, at that time. This will help you identify or make linkages between the topics. Further, then what you should do, you should browse the website of various online platforms wherein the candidates, successful candidates answer sheets have been posted. So what you can do, you download the toppers copy from one particular platform and look for the content of the answer. Additionally, what you can do, you can try to attempt the same question with your current preparation, and you can compare it with the topper's answer. So you will understand how beautifully he has introduced the topic. Generally, he must have written some definition of that topic or some opening quote which gives the summarizes the topic in general. Then what points he must have covered in the body part, and there must be 2 3 line on conclusion to the each answer. Moreover, you can identify he has placed some flowcharts, some diagrams in the answer. So these are the marks fetching tricks you have to learn. Uh, After this basic analysis, you should actually start with your preparation. First is first. Now you have approximate 130 days left. So I would expect you divide this topic period into 65 days of uh, parts. In first part, you cover your mains optional paper 2 plus ethics and essay, or you can cover either paper of optional plus non-static part of main GS 123 plus essay. Why I am stressing too much of essay? Essay is a paper which gives you extra edge over the other candidates, which will actually decide you landing into the service. And even if you get selected, essay has potential to decide your service. So that those 5-10 marks can only be fetched into the essay paper. Now don't try to cover entire main syllabus in next 65 days. First, it will hamper your preparation, and simply you cannot cover this mammoth syllabus into next 65 days. Rather, uh, you must have already identified your weak areas wherein your preparation was lacking, or you must have left for that particular syllabus to be prepared after the prelims. So this syllabus you can cover it now. You can prepare your written notes in very brief during this next 65 days. Your notes may include your flowcharts, diagram, and some short paras about the topic, so that when you start revising, it will be very helpful for you. Then for the ethics paper, what you should do, you should try to attempt the case studies since 2013. I believe there is no ideal answer for the ethics case studies. It depends on your moral inclination. Plus, ethics paper should be attempted more like an essay, so that you give expression to the reader that you are very empathetic or some impartial in your approach. Plus, extra flowery language in the ethics paper will fetch you 1 or 2 extra marks in each and every answer. Case studies cannot be mastered or simply answered in a one day. You have to practice, and after a few days and after proper evaluation and feedback, you will understand that your answer writing on the case studies has really improved in this thing. So that you can do about your ethics paper. I already discussed that every week you should try to attempt one essay. So if you start writing an essay, one essay each week, so where you can attempt almost 15-16 essays by the time you actually appear for the your mains examination or your prelims. So which is a good amount of practice to give you the command over your essay. Second thing, if you're preparing your uh, optional paper, say paper 1 or paper 2, whatever weak part you are having, so what you should do one thing, that you try to attempt the main questions on that topic whichever you're reading. Say if I am reading medicine for in the as for my medical science optional, I will try to write down the answer previously asked questions for the medicine. Then Then for surgery, I will attempt the questions on surgery from the past question papers. Once I am done with this, I would suggest you take up an online test series, so that once you are prepared with that portion, uh, once you are prepared that portion, you can actually attempt the uh, test series. And advantage of test series is that the feedback and evaluation you get from the person helps improve your scoring in the examination. Okay, so next would be, I already asked you to analyze the topper's copy. It will help you to decide your approach in answer writing. Then, yes, most importantly, as I say, that you have to devote maximum time of next 65 70 days uh, for the mains. Don't detach yourself from the prelims. uh, you can attempt one mock test one mock test for the prelims uh, on the weekend. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello, sir.
Huh.
Audible, sir.
Okay. So you should take a one mock test for the prelims uh, on every weekend. So if you take GS mock test for this week, you should take CSAT next week, so that you won't be detaching from your prelims preparation, because prelims is one of the crucial examination. Unless and until you clear it, you won't preparing for preparation for the mains won't make any sense to you. Okay, so this is a golden opportunity in a sense you people have got. So don't waste it by procrastinating that, okay, I have enough time to prepare, so let me take some rest. I have been preparing for last few days, and let me watch new series on Netflix and then I will again join my studies. Don't do that. See, even if you are not preparing, the toppers for the next year must be preparing very hard. So it is very essential that you don't lose your focus and keep your study on schedule. Don't get distracted by the terrible situation we are right now in. The, we are in. If this COVID has touched everyone's family, many of us have recovered. Near ones we have lost our near dear ones in last few days, but don't let that thing affect your mental state. Uh, Try to keep your COVID precautions and keep your diet and proper exercise something some part of the day, so that you stay healthy and you can focus on your studies. One more thing, as I said, you have got some additional time, but it is actually, I believe that your period for mains after prelims will be drastically reduced. So plan accordingly. So decide what mains portion you will be covering now and what you will be preparing after prelims. So once your prelim is over, directly jump to the portion which you are left by now, which you are living now, so that you don't miss on any part. or don't waste your time on duplicating the same effort. So that would be another thing. One more. Yes. Current affairs are very much essential. Uh, Generally, as a practice, we generally cover up the current affairs for last 1 year. Now you people have been reading current affairs since June 2020, but I would suggest covering current affairs for the last 2 years, because if you look at the questions in last 2 years asked by the UPSC, the current affairs are not just the uh, immediate period, but generally has linkage for the last 2-3 years. So I would suggest, if you are in a position to cover the current affairs from January 2020, it would be better. For current affairs, your standard reading should be two newspapers, The Hindu or Indian Express. Won't cover only the editorial portion, economy section, and the international relations. Otherwise, reading all the topics will be wastage of time. Indian Express generally comes up with the one explained page. It is a quite exhaustive on some particular issues which are essential for the few topics of the GS. Make a habit to browse the Mint paper for their editorial on certain economic issues. Mint gives you a good analysis of the current economic situation. Then yes, I would like to I would expect that each one of you make a schedule for each day, what you are going to study it in a particular day, and by the bedtime you should take all your targets achieved in a day. Don't let something unfinished for the particular day. Most importantly, as you have got some extra time, don't waste it on reading new study materials or something that pops up into the market. Keep your resources same, and instead of reading same topic from another book or another notes, try to revise it once again, so that you will consolidate your content and you will apply your understanding in your mains paper. So something about the working professionals. So if you are working and you find that your work environment is difficult, you don't find some extra time for the preparation, you can if you, right now mostly we are working from home only, but in between the meetings, if you get some time, try to listen to the quick bits on the Air India news, so that you people brush up the current affairs. Or alternatively, there are many YouTube channels which make short videos like sleep. I particularly like the sleepy classes. They make some excellent videos on the GS. So you can revise from that YouTube videos, so that it will save your time. Then don't make ambitious plans for the next few days. Okay, I will do that, I will do this. What you will end up missing everything. Decide your short targets, complete it, achieve it, so that you will gain confidence and will finish off your syllabus on time. Okay, that is from my side. Something for the mains uh, medical science optional. Medical science optional should people should prepare topics of first year like anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry with their detailed notes, and topics of pathology and pharmacology in next 2 months. Make some small short notes because this is the these areas are left unprepared in our preparation. We generally tend to focus on the paper 2, which is a applied part, medicine, surgery, and pediatrics. So even though this is a scoring part, we miss on it. So prepare paper 1 better and make notes. Try to make flowcharts, diagrams in a simple way so that it will add value to your answers. So now I am open to the questions which you want to ask me. You can ask.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Where do we get medical science toppers answer copy to compare our answers with someone else?
Few of the copies may be available with Adesh for the past IS Delhi students who have attempted the test series, written some good copies. But as such, answer copies of toppers for medical science will be very difficult.
And one more question, sir.
Hmm?
Sir, in questions like case studies in paper 2, how to present the answers for exactly for differential diagnosis kind of questions. So how to present that answer, whether it would you explain on?
See, if generally the differential, if the question asks you on one particular patient suffering from fever and headache and something, so try to give four try to give 4 differential diagnoses. Okay, 3 or 4 differential diagnoses, then suggest the laboratory testing, then and there must be some clues given in the question that patient is suffering from this and this particular levels are this test shows particular out result or something, and from that from those 4 differential diagnoses you jump to the one final diagnosis, and on that basis of on the basis of that final diagnosis you give your management line.
That whether the presentation should be in a flow chart or it can be in a sentence.
See, that is a beauty of medical science. You can afford writing in flowcharts, in bullet-proof forms, and you need not to write a full sentence. Just like giving the headache signs, symptoms. Inside you should not you need not to write particular description. You just write sign names. That's enough, so that you can cover a maximum on that part and you won't miss on it.
Okay, sir.
Even if you check the grammar part of the answer, no, you'll still get the marks. So that, and I would but I had attempted maximum medicine, surgery, ops paper, pediatric, wherein you're writing treatment in the flowchart form. So I had good marks. I had scored some 140 out of 250 that time in paper 2, and I totally relied on the diagrams.
Okay, sir. And in investigation part, sir, whether we can write investigation, okay, what could be the finding, and based on that inference, or it must be like a flowchart. Okay, first investigation, if possible yes or no, like that, then go to the next invest. Like this kind of a flowchart is better, or investigation, finding, inference, that kind of thing is better, sir?
No, you can give rather than giving step-by-step approach. You should write all the investigation you would like to do, and after you write 3-4 tests, you write in a bottom that if we find this particular result with this particular investigation, the most likely diagnosis for our case is this.
Okay, sir.
Even if you are able
Thank
to
you.
present your answer into stepwise manner, there is nothing wrong in it. It's a different approach, but since it will take a lot of your time in writing that stepwise manner, and so it will hamper your other questions.
Okay, sir.
Attempting maximum question is must.
Okay, sir. In anatomy and all, whether it is compulsory to use multiple colors, or just going with a random diagram is enough, sir?
I just use pen and pencil. I did not use colors. My focus was to attempt maximum questions with good answers rather than some a beautiful answer and attempting less. So approach should be attempting maximum, even though at the cost of presentation, because it will maximum number of question will fetch you more marks than some unattempted question won't fetch you any mark.
Okay.
So
I
if
think
you
even histology is also not required in that.
for
histology.
histology, there is generally 1 or 2 question. For that question, you can use our regular that HNN pencil, no, lilac and violet pencil.
Yeah. Yes.
For that 1 or 2 question, you can use color pencils, and if you are fast with your color pencils over the pen sketching or something, you can attempt that. No harm in it.
Whether they'll deduct the marks if you don't use the color, appropriate colors.
No, they won't do that. They won't do that. UPSC wants correct answer. UPSC does not want.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
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 Sir, I'm Dr. Vashisht.
Yes, please.
Sir, I wanted to know, sir, I have finished in this meantime, I have finished around 50% of medical science, making notes, short notes and everything. So my question was, in this extended period of pandemic, should I focus on the revising what I had made notes, or should I make the short notes of remaining portion, like complete holistic coverage?
Vashisht, I would prefer preparing the unattempted portion. So,
yes, sir.
in a sense, once you finish off your remaining 50% of the syllabus, you can safely rely that your entire syllabus is covered, and you just have to revise at the time of mains.
Sure.
So that would be a big advantage. Even if you consolidate what you have prepared till now, there will be still anxiety in your mind that half of the portion is still remaining, and that may affect your other preparation as well. So in psychology, there is a one dictum: incomplete task causes dissonance. So don't keep any dissonance in your mind. Prepare fully, complete the remaining 50% of the syllabus in next 60-65 days, and then jump onto your prelims.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next.
And so which subjects have maximum input output ratio in terms of preparation? Like say for example, Dermat has or they always ask two or three questions regularly. Like in that sense, which are the subjects which have maximum input output ratio? Like or is there any trend of this sort, or there's nothing like that?
You're asking that scoring per se.
Yes, sir. Subject wise, if you have to prioritize the subjects in terms of number of questions asked, like that.
Okay, then number of question asked and number of marks easily you can get.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
For paper 2, pediatrics.
Yes, sir.
Dermatology.
Yes, sir.
Ops.
Yes, sir.
And surgery and medicine, in that order.
Surgery and medicine.
For paper 1, forensic is a good catching area. Then pathology. Then anatomy. Then short subject biochemistry and physiology. Physiology, I find it tough to score because it is always full of advances.
Yes. And so PSM? Community medicine?
Yes. Yeah, community medicine, even though we end up writing more answer like GS in PSA, I don't find it is more rewarding.
Yes.
I would prefer completing other subjects like pharma and other over PSA.
Yes,
but
sir.
I won't leave PSM at all. In that PSM, even in PSM, I would prioritize for the community health programs, nutrition,
Yes.
those kind of topics.
Yes, sir. National programs. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, you are audible.
Sir, my question is about GS4 ethics paper.
Yes.
While writing the answer, there is a two approach in theory part. Like one says that you should focus on the more on the philosophical names of the philosophers like Kant and J.S. Mill or the Aristotle, Tagore, Gandhi, and other view is like you should focus on the your life example, and write is like a simple and like you're talking to someone and that way. So what should we do actually? Should if we use more philosopher, wouldn't be it like using writing a political science answers or something like that?
Okay. If I guess it right, see, ethics is morality in action. So while writing answer, there could be 2-3 approaches: means approach, end approach, or various thinkers. You may quote the thinker or the theory in the answer, but don't overdo it. In a case studies, I would prefer what you would actually do. In this sense, you should be guided by the constitution, then the governance framework in India, and the practical approach. And in that practical approach, while compromising one person, if you can do good for maximum, that should be your guiding light. That is what we actually do in the administration.
Okay. I had okay.
I think I have not got your question properly, or you got the answer.
No, so I mean I have to balance in the theory part. I have to just mention the names and theories if there is a possibility, and not mention it in a detailed manner.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
There is another question. There is a lot of inertia in writing the questions. I start for a few days, then I stop it, then I start, and then I shoot. So and sometime I just there is a lot of inertia actually while writing the ethics and other papers. So what should I do actually?
Then you should join a test series, because once you pay for something, no, you won't make an excuse to write those questions. But writing is must. All the selected candidate have one thing in common: they have attempted good number of questions before actually appearing for the examination. And if you are not certain of your optional and general studies means portion, there is no point in attempting the exam at all. You will be simply end up wasting one attempt. So this is not excuse that you start and end up. Make a schedule. If you are not if you cannot attempt a full paper one day, try to attempt 2 3 question daily, but do attempt. Even if you write one answer, that is better than doing not writing, not attempting at all. At least one or two answers must. It's my humble request to all of you: do attempt one or two questions, and it will certainly improve your performance.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I wanted to know what is the importance of the structure in medical science paper answer, that introduction and body and conclusion. Is there any significance of that in medical science, or
Not at all.
we don't
Not
have
at all.
to?
Not at all.
So in one line intro, nothing is.
Medical science paper should be attempted the way we used to attempt in our undergraduate
Okay,
examination.
sir. So no intro, not even one line, nothing. Directly we can jump
No.
onto the main part.
Because
Okay.
our answers are lengthy, so
Yes, sir.
avoid that portion to cover maximum information. Because
Yes,
it's
sir.
a factual paper, you have to give all the details.
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, my name is Sanjay.
Okay, Sanjay.
Sir, actually, I wanted to know, in question paper, if they ask in main question, they will ask sub questions. Mention 3 conditions or mention 3 differential diagnoses. Not about differential diagnosis. Mention 3 conditions like that. If they ask,
I understood.
usually we have the tendency to write in detail. In
See,
UG, we have we'll mention conditions and 2 to 3 lines. Here, how to write? Just
see,
we have to mention, or we have to write again description.
see, medical science will throw you questions like a 10 marker will be split into 3 plus 3 plus 4, like that. You're asking for answering those type of questions, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So you just write, if you are asked to write 3 conditions associated with splenomegaly, you just write the names and one line on that. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Because you have to attempt all other parts and you have to give justice to all the parts equally.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. And one more thing is anatomy,
and alternatively what you can do, थोड़ा space छोड़ देना. When your paper is complete, you attempted all the question, and you have some spare time left with you, that time you can come back to that question and add some value addition.
Okay, sir. And regarding anatomy, like it's a little bit difficult for like remembering. We have any, other than revision, we have any techniques to study anatomy approach?
Study anatomy, say you can, what you can do, you can make a study partner. So you prepare knee joint, he will prepare hip joint. Okay. So make a note and you teach each other. That could be one other approach. If your study partner nearby you, you can, but teaching is a good medium whereby you can actually retain the things. And for teaching someone, you will read that particular topic in detail.
Yes, sir.
And to make him understand, you will make extra effort. So that could be one way of attempting it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Actually, this kind of approach, teaching one topic to each other, can be done in a small group, even for general studies and other optional. This will help you. But 2 is a company, 3 is a group, 4 is a RADA. So don't make a group bigger than it. You will end up wasting time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, in MBBS, we used to write an exam for 100 marks, sir. And here it will be for 250 marks. But the timing is same. So what about the length? How much should be the length for an each answer? Whether it should be more elaborate than our UG exam, or it should be same like that?
See, even if we had paper, generally we had some MCQs in undergraduate paper, and for 8 markers, 8 marker of our UG examination is almost like 25 marker in the UPSC. So I presume that you are from, I don't know, I'm from Maharashtra. So Maharashtra, MUHS had longest answer was for the 8 marks. And for that, those 8 marks, we used to write 3-4 pages, which approximately 250 to 300 words. So same like here only. So for 25 marks, you should attempt 250 to 300 words. And word limit is not exactly capping on your answer. If you can reduce your answer by simply putting that into a diagram or a flow chart, so not necessary you will require to write 250 words or 3 pages or something. You can simply complete the one entire question in 1 and 1/2 page, and it will fetch equally good marks.
Okay. And this word limit is always a mystery for me, sir. I don't have any idea about the word limit, how they calculate, how must be our approach on deciding the word limit.
See, it will come with the practice. You need not to write, count each and every time what your how many words you written. Read the question first. See what have been asked for how much marks. So roughly try to attempt those parts based on their priority of marks. See, if the question is for 10 markers and they expect you to write 3 anatomical relations for 3 marks, then you just simply draw a diagram. For 3 marks, muscle and nerve supply. So you can again attempt a box wherein you will write the name of the muscle and its action and the nerve supply. Okay. And for 4 marks, they are asking the clinical anatomy. You should write all the 3-4 clinical cases associated with the that particular thing.
Okay.
So you,
I think
you have
even
answered.
this clinical anatomy is compulsory for all the answers.
Wherever, see, even if it is, wherever it is asked, it is must, and if it is not mentioned, writing all the cases, but just listing the cases will be your value addition to the answer.
Okay.
It is same like differential diagnosis in your medicine surgery. Even if it is not asked, you just give it from your side.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone, please?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, surgery, like, do we have to Bailey only, or do we have to follow that Bailey book, or like usually we study in from Manipal, from that only we can write?
I have solely relied on Manipal, George Matthew, for simply one reason: it is manageable. You cannot take Bailey and Love, and you are expected to complete this, even the syllabus of your UPSC from Bailey and Love. And further, revising it will be very difficult. If you are ready notes from your UG days of made from the Bailey and Love, nothing like that. But Manipal gives the entire subject. It is easy to memorize because they give that mnemonics and all things. No.
Yes.
Tabulation, flowcharts. Manipal is good. Manipal, don't doubt it there.
Okay. Like, sir, in UG, like, we are expected to write the exact definition, like the things. Here, like, if you write, like, whatever we understand in our own words, like, will it be good, or like you have to write exact definition only?
Try to write exact, because this is the most objective and scientific paper. So reproducing the exact definition would make a good impression on the examiner, since the examiner for the medical science optional will be the professors teaching in actual colleges. They won't be generalists like the other humanities people. So they will medical professor will always prefer what he has been reading, checking all through his life.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Anyone? Adesh? Hello, Adesh?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Should we conclude, or do we have some?
I think no one has left with any question. So yes, we can conclude here. Thank you very much, Piyush sir, for guiding us, all students, on this strategy and addressing all their questions effectively. So thank you very much.
Okay, I am available on Telegram. You can personally ping me there also.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.